Hey everyone, this is Nikita from Parcel Tracker, and today I'm going to show you guys how I would set up Parcel Tracker for office receptions to streamline deliveries, notify recipients automatically, and overall just make life easier for everyone involved. By the end of this video, your scan and handover process should look something like this. Parcel arrives to the reception. Parcel is checked in. Recipient receives a notification. And parcel is checked out. So first thing I want to do is to create a Parcel Tracker account. To do that, just go to parceltracker.com and select Start for Free, and you'll be able to make a free account. Once you've logged in, you'll first want to enable two features. So to do that, let's go to Settings and select Features. You'll want to enable batch parcel collection if you have an internal courier who can deliver parcels from the reception or storage room to their respective departments. And to make parcel logging easier later on, you want to enable additional parcel details. What this does is that it will allow you to add a digital tag, assign the parcel a storage location, and even take a photo of the parcel so you know what it looks like. In normal workflows, when a parcel is logged in, they might get assigned a physical tag and then put away in the storage room. But if you get a high volume of deliveries every day, this method can be kind of slow, and parcels might get lost or misplaced, especially as you continue to log in more parcels throughout the next days or weeks. Next, I can finally upload my recipient list. Let's go back to the dashboard and select Recipients. So I can either bulk upload recipients using a CSV list, or I can add them in individually. The reason why we want to upload recipients first is because Parcel Tracker will use this data to match parcels to the correct recipient and notify them at the same time. Without a recipient list, Parcel Tracker will not be able to match parcels, and staff may end up needing to put parcels on hold to process them later, and it will end up prolonging the entire intake process. To bulk upload recipients, select Import List, and you'll actually find a downloadable template which you can fill in, or you can choose a file from your device. Here's what that recipient list looks like. There are some optional fields, but the most important ones you'll need to fill in will be the recipient's first name, their last name, their email. The reason why we want their email is because Parcel Tracker uses this as the primary notification platform, and finally their location. So for an office use case, this would be the departments. When your CSV list is ready, select Browse File, select the file from your device, tick the box that says you have permission to upload the data, continue. You want to make sure that each of your columns are mapped out to the correct properties, so here's an example of when that didn't happen. In this case, unit, which I used for room numbers, was not recognized as the location, so all I had to do was select the correct property. When you're done, click Continue. Review the data. You can even edit from this tab. Select Continue again, and then upload the data. Parcel Tracker will show you if there were any errors during the process, if there were any duplicate recipients, or if any recipient data was updated from an old CSV list. Since the ID and alias fields are empty, we can hide them. Hover over the field and select the hamburger icon and select Hide. Next, I'm going to show you guys how to upload recipients individually. So let's say that you have a new employee and you want to onboard them onto the Parcel Tracker system so they can start receiving their personal deliveries at the office. Select Add Recipient and enter the necessary data. You can add and create another to add a new recipient, or just click Add to close the window. Next, I want to set up my scanning devices. This can be a phone or a tablet. Apple or Android both work. For best performance, we recommend at least an iPhone SE or an Android with 6 GB of RAM and a 2.8 GHz processor. If staff are using their personal devices, you can add them as Parcel Tracker users. So to do that, let's go to Settings. Select Mailroom Users. And then you can invite a user. Enter the necessary details. You can even control their permission settings, so if you just want this person to be able to scan parcels, scan them out, maybe add recipients, then you can just invite them as normal. But if you want them to edit building details or toggle certain features, then you should add them as admin. When you're done, press send, and then this person should have received an invite to the Parcel Tracker account. The next thing I want to do is configure my tags. So to do that, let's go to tags. And you'll see here that Parcel Tracker already has some default tags, but you can add more tags as needed. So you can use more general tags like maybe fragile, or you can even add tags per department. Really anything that can help you organize the parcels better when they first arrive to the building. So to create a tag, just select add tag. And you can enter the name and even select the color so it's easier to see. Next, I want to set up my recipient notifications. So to do that, let's go back to the dashboard and select notifications. So delivery and collection notifications are on by default. A delivery notification is what the recipient would receive when the parcel is first scanned in, and it will tell them that their parcel is ready to collect. And the collection notification is basically a confirmation email saying that they have collected their parcels. You can personalize these messages as much as you want. To do that, let's go to Actions and then Edit. So this is what the recipient's delivery message would look like, but from here you can actually configure and personalize the message as much as you want. So you can edit the subject, edit the heading, you can choose to address the recipient by their first name, their last name, or even by an alias, and you can edit the message in the subheading. You can even choose to display advanced parcel details. So this will include things like notes, who the courier was, and when the delivery arrived. Once you're happy with the changes, just select Submit, and the template will have been updated. From here, you can even enable and add a reminder template. So first, let's enable the reminders. Select the plus icon in the corner. Select the default template. And if you want to edit the reminder, go to Actions and Edit. So reminder notifications are important, especially if recipients tend to leave their parcels hanging for too long. If a parcel hasn't gone collected, then it's just taking up space in the storage room. So setting up reminders can help minimize that. Same thing, you can edit the message from here. And you can even set a reminder delay or set a maximum number of reminders. When you're happy, select Submit, and you'll have updated the template successfully. Finally, I want to set up my storage location, so to do that, let's go back to Settings and select Storage Locations. So this can look different depending on your building and your building's workflow. For some offices, they might have storage locations per department, so you can add that in as maybe marketing storage, accounting storage, etc., etc. Some buildings might have storage rooms per floor, so you can add each floor as a location, but in most cases, a lot of buildings have one storage room for the entire building. And in these cases, we recommend really narrowing it down so that it's easier to find once the recipients are ready to collect. So you'll see where you'd already have shelf A, shelf B, but we can add more like shelf C, maybe aisle 1, aisle 2, or even cages if applicable. So to add a new location, just select Add Location, the details. You can save and add another, or if you're done, just select Save. And once all of this is done, you're finally ready to start scanning parcels. So on the left, we have my phone screen, which is where I'll demo the Parcel Tracker app. And on the right, you'll see some sample labels that we can scan. First, I want to show you guys where you can find Parcel Tracker on the iOS App Store or the Google Play Store. On either, you can just search for Parcel Tracker. Select the option Parcel Tracker Mailroom. And you'll see it there. Download the Mailroom version. You'll see I already have it downloaded. And then when you open it, you can just enter your login details and you'll be able to start scanning parcels. So when you first open the Parcel Tracker app, you'll see 4 tabs. The first one is In, which is what they use to scan in parcels. Out to check out parcels. Manage, you can manage parcels, recipients, and users from this tab. And finally, Settings. From here, you can access our support chat, our knowledge base, and you can even configure the features and select your scan mode. So when parcels first arrive to the reception, all you have to do is press Scan Parcels. Hold the camera over the label and press and hold the button to pick up the name, and press it again to pick up the barcode. And since we enabled the Add Additional Parcel Details feature in the beginning, it'll take you to this tab where you can add a photo. You can select the tags that you created earlier. And if you scroll down, you can even select the storage location. Select Submit. And then you can do this for multiple parcels in a row, so let's see what that looks like. Here's my second label. And my last one. And when you're done scanning, all you have to do is press Next and check in. So the app will now show you how many parcels have been scanned in today. So let's quickly go back to the web platform and you'll see it's already been synced. So let's go to Parcels. What about collections? So for these parcels, I actually directed them to my email. So let's quickly go and check if I got the notification, and you'll see that I did. Here's my QR code for Albert, who had only one parcel. In the case for multiple parcels, it'll still only appear as one QR code, which makes for easy collections. So once recipients are ready to collect, all you have to do is select the Out tab, select Recipient Checkout, scan their barcode, and then scan their parcel label again. Select Next. And then from here you can just check out, or you can switch to Recipient e-signature and then check out. Let's do this again for Isaac. Next. Once again, recipient checkout is for when a recipient comes down to the reception to collect their parcel. But if you have an internal courier who's going to deliver those parcels to the correct departments, then select Batch Checkout. And you can either select the parcels that are going to be delivered. To do that, select the parcel icon on the top bar. And then select the correct parcels and confirm. Or you can scan the labels. I can select Next, and then get his signature, and check out. You can even check out parcels from the Parcels tab, so let's say that a recipient has come down to the reception to collect their parcel, but has forgotten to bring their QR code. No problem, all you have to do is go to Parcels, navigate to that person and their parcel, and select Checkout Parcel. From here you can add a note or get a signature to confirm delivery. Select Collect, and Parcel Tracker will mark that parcel as collected. Another very helpful feature of Parcel Tracker is that you can see statistics. So let's go ahead and see what it looks like. So from this tab, you'll be able to see things like peak check-in times and peak checkout times, your top couriers, total parcel check-ins and checkouts, and average turnaround time, which is the amount of time from when a parcel is scanned in to when it is checked out. So you can actually use these statistics to help you out in the mailroom to strategize or allocate more resources. So let's say that your peak check-in times are between the hours of 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. With this information, you can allocate more resources such as extra helping hands or maybe even parcel trolleys to accommodate the peak period. Or I can even perform a parcel audit to make sure that there's enough space in my storage room for all the incoming parcels. As for average turnaround times, if you see that parcels have been sitting in the storage areas for too long, you can enable reminders to make sure that recipients pick up their deliveries in a more timely manner. And that concludes our tutorial. Please let us know if you found this video helpful, which features you like best, or which features you'd like to see in the future.